Hey everyone, this is Brawl here. I'm giving you my review of Boruto Naruto Next Generations episode 66, my story, and this is the finale. At least this arc. This is the finale of the arc of the movie recap. So, but to start the episode we actually had the scene where everyone who went from the battlefield, from Boruto, Naruto, Sasuke, and the rest of the five Kage, coming out of the wormhole or a portal created by Sasuke. Ultimately agree with both, at least the scene of Hinata and Hiyawari embracing both Naruto and Boruto for coming back. Sarada and Sakura has their moment with Sasuke. We don't get to see him actually do a hug too because he's pretty much worn out or something. But I don't think he's that much of a hugger. Sasuke's not that much of a hugger, so makes sense. Small glimpse of at least Shinki in looking over to Boruto. So then maybe there's still some tension between two since the tuning exams. And like I say, like majority of at least small part of this episode is basically Boruto apologizing to some people. Specifically, he went to the new Sand trip. He went to the Sand siblings. Specifically, apologizing to Shinki for cheating for the tuning exams, even though Shinki just basically doesn't get a full response, although I actually appreciate the apology. So he just walks away. Then his sister, supposed sister, I forgot her name, the one with the blonde hair and the headphones, that she got fired in the tuning exams. She only says, don't try, next time you try to do this again, do not try using a scientific ninja tool. So basically, just gives a bit of like a small warning for us to not do this again in the future. Apparently, we're going to see, I think we might get to see another tuning exam, probably not. But just in case if this ever happens, just in case the tuning exams happen again, and the same siblings come back to the Leaf, let's just see, or at least go to another village parent who's hosting. Boruto then uses that ninja tool again. Speaking of the scientific ninja tools, it looks specifically the developer of said tool. Unfortunately, I guess the department got shut down because of what happened with the tuning exams. We get to see it goes from the movie into the anime, where it's like we have the main developer helping out with some of the construction. We get to see a scene of Iwaki, Lee, and Denki helping out with the construction. Geez, I can't speak today. So we get to see that. We also get to see a scene with Boruto and Shikida basically trying to have their moment because there is still some small tension between the two, or at least a big huge tension, since it was Shikida who basically berated Boruto. The fact that Boruto cheated during their match in the tuning exams, and when it was revealed that Boruto was exposed with said scientific ninja tool, Shikida was the one who took the most embarrassing in this one because Boruto went against his promise, like I explained a few episodes before. There was a little bit so awkward silence between the two that it was found for a good minute. Ultimately decided to break the tension was broken. They all officially apologized. So basically now Boruto and Shikida are reasonably good. Those two scenes that these two also said they're not going to plan to fall into their parents' ways, but eventually they kind of did, by accident or at least unintentionally. So that was that. And though Boruto still maintains the promise that he still has to be his dad. He hasn't lost his dad yet, so he still plans on being greater than his dad. And then we get to see a scene with Naruto and between Bart. Speaking of Naruto, I should go with saying that at the time when all this was going down with Naruto, when things were getting back together, he was still in his office. He was with Shikamaru and Sasuke. It's been despite the fact that Moshiki and one of his subordinates have been defeated, there's still the matter of that one guy that Gaara fought. That Gaara ultimately says that he's still basically dangerous because he doesn't know the full extent of his power. The one with the fishing pole. He still hasn't got a name officially. He's just basically that moon agent something. Sasuke only sounds like claiming the fact that he's still out there, lurking somewhere in shadows, but he's not really going to do anything just yet. I'll get to him and his scene a bit towards the end. So it looks like Sasuke will go off to find more ruins of the Kage clan. Though it turns out, Naruto told Sasuke to stay home and rest with his wife and daughter, while Sasuke raised Kamak says that you should not be talking because he goes and claims about that Naruto has made it home more often, just like Sasuke. Though Naruto for me was home in the village entirely, he wasn't specifically at his household. So he was with his wife, son, and daughter most of the time, while Sasuke was about to do a mission, so he hasn't spent outside the village entirely. But it's going to take another day to analyze the data. So there's a scene between Sasuke and Sarada. It was like Sarada basically asking Sasuke to train her and how to master, at least to perfect, the Fireball Jutsu. Being that the Fireball Jutsu is basically a signature jutsu of the Uchiha clan, Sarada wants to perfect it. And he just tells about Sakura is actually having a special dinner, waiting for them to the night. So at least Sasuke can stay home with his family more often. But before that happens, there's a scene between Sasuke and Boruto. And before more important than that scene, between the cut between him and the meeting with Shikida, I think it's like a next day kind of, like a next day thing. Boruto somehow, someway has his headband back. I know in fact towards the end of the movie he has his headband back, even though it was ripped from his dad Naruto. Apparently, it looks like somewhere between that scene and the other scene, he got his headband back. This one like a small. This would have been nice for the anime to at least clarify the scene with Boruto getting back his headband, but apparently that's not the case. So he just has the headband in the next scene. I was like, okay, it just happened. Well, we have to accept this. Then to the scene with Boruto and Sasuke. Sasuke is concerned the fact that Boruto's arm was the position of Boruto's arm. He hasn't seen any symptoms like any visions of the guy of Moshinki, low, any paralysis. But Sasuke points out that's not something like normal paralysis that he was feeling. What he basically saw through his Rinnegan is something that only Boruto could see with his Tenseigan eye. So Sasuke only tells Boruto, if anything happens to your arm, let me know immediately. And being the fact that he's going to be on wait for a bit of a while, and when he comes back, he'll train Boruto since Boruto is Sasuke's pupil. Only if he learns the basics from him. So we get to see the true connection between Master Sasuke and teachers and student Boruto, officially now been solidified. Even though Sasuke still has to train his daughter a few times, but it looks like Boruto is clearly the main student. So eventually get to see a small scene. There's a scene where I want to point. This is where things kind of get a little bit weird in terms of audio here, because in this scene where like in that Thunder Burger joint that mostly all these students tend to go to. Specifically, we have the scene with the all-female Konoshi squad, with Sumire and two other girls, I completely forgot their names, seeing the news piece from Boruto. And during that scene, too, the news broadcaster was interviewing Boruto, but we didn't see Boruto respond to a question. There's a scene cut directly to the girls with no audio whatsoever, and we can see cut and scene again this time in the village with audio. So it's just like we're missing something here in terms of audio. So it was like some parts of this episode was like out of sync in terms of audio, and the picture was like there was no text, there was no voice, so basically that was just a still shot of the girls. That was weird. We got a little weird, get to that part in a bit. So we get to see both Boruto, Mitsuki, and Sarada all standing on top of the stone faces, specifically on top of Naruto's stone face. They just have no soul talk until Sarada asks Boruto, does he want to become Hokage? But Boruto ultimately says, no, he does not want to be Hokage, and being the path of Hokage is not that latest thing. Just because of his grandfather and his dad are Hokage, that doesn't mean that he has to become Hokage, or does he want to become Hokage himself. And that's like one thing, when I first realized that when I read that Boruto plans on not being Hokage, I was like, thank you, because I did not want to, because just because he's the son of the Hokage and the grandson of the Hokage, that doesn't mean that he wants to become Hokage. It doesn't mean that he's going to be Hokage. It's like a situation is like, let's say, the youngest son happens to be the youngest child, let's say, not son or daughter, youngest child of a family, and the lineage he has with his parents and to his older siblings have all had to follow the same career, but different paths with the same form of career. Some people would expect the fact that the youngest son should follow in the same footsteps as them, but the young child does not want to do the same thing. He or she wants to be their own person. So it's basically what Boruto is seeing here. Like, just because my grandfather, just because my dad happens to be an Hokage, doesn't mean that I'm going to be Hokage. So he only told Sarada that he's going to let Sarada become Hokage, even though Sarada's going to come after. In terms of this current generation, the man who's going to be the Hokage after Naruto, most likely it will definitely going to be Konohamaru. In a way, it's going to be Konohamaru, so I won't be surprised Sarada comes after him. So when Boruto ultimately says that to Sarada, she blushes. I'm also saying what Boruto wants to do is to become a shinobi just like Sasuke. To be the shadow, to be the right-hand man to protect Sarada from doing doing Hokage business. And during that moment when he was proclaiming that this is basically his goal, there was a small scene of like a zoom shot face of Sarada. Hinting that the series might start, we're going to see some small inklings of love interest feelings between Sarada to Boruto. However, everyone says that's to kill because I don't think that's going to be essentially clearly sure just yet, even though it could happen. I'm still saying the fact I'm on the side of it. It could be even though there's a small blushing scene and she basically got a little bit awkward after that. It's most likely that could happen. You just gotta wait and see. And eventually, Sarada goes out to go home. Basically, guessing there's something to do with her parents, specifically Sasuke. Basically, had to go report and something basically a health thing. And now, looks like Boruto officially released the bandages. And this is the part where I was concerned towards the end of the last episode. We had this whole scene at the preview cut off from Boruto's hand. And when I said when we get to see the reveal of Momoshiki and his transform scene in the anime, its resemblance to the manga version instead of the actual movie, or at least a bridge version of it. Boruto officially has a black diamond mark on his hand. Over here in the verse it says, "Beware, those blue eyes of us will take everything away from you." So eventually, Boruto is not exactly too clear talking about this mark just yet, but he's going to take it. But he's going. Alright, okay, let me start this again. Boruto looks at the mark. Not sure what it just yet because it's just a mark. It doesn't really happen just yet. But for those who actually read the manga, like I did, I knew exactly what that mark is, and some people who actually read the mark knew what it is. But for those watchers, it's going to be a suspense for us to come with. For I don't know how many episodes we're going to get to canon stuff, let alone when are we going to possibly going to hit the manga being adapted so soon. But that just happened. It looks like Boruto's going to have to deal with him. It looks like it's there, or maybe it's going to be like fading in and out between a few points. Because in the next scene, you get to see Boruto going to his household again. And it looks like both Hinata, Himar, and Naruto he sees Naruto in the household for the first time in a while, I should say. He delivers a cake basically trying to celebrate both Boruto and Himaru's birthday that he basically missed. Even though he said sorry, it's late. And then Boruto, I shit you not, Boruto literally just punches Naruto in the stomach, thinking that this was a clone or was this a shadow clone. This was the real thing. It turns out, no, this is the real Naruto. Then they got a little bit annoyed, guys, about Boruto in a headlock and starts like ringing his head a bit with his knuckles. And then Himaru jumps into Naruto's back, and seeing how these three being chaotic, Hinata says, "Stop being crazy, or I'm going to take the cake away. You're not going to eat anything." All three of them basically apologize, seeing Hinata getting angry. Kind of terrifies them a bit, or at least, or you don't want good food to be a waste. So that was nice to see. And towards the before the ending credits, we have to see Boruto running off to the distance, like running off. See him running, only taking the warning, my destiny or whatever. Like I don't care. This is not, a bunch of words. Something he has his friends to back him up. He has his family to back him up just in case anything happens. So he's not also too worried about this. But then he also says, "This is not my dad's story. This is my story." Hence the title card says "My Story." And we get to see him jumping up from the stone face to the ground, and that's when we cut to the credits. Then after the credits scene here, before the next episode's preview, we have we don't have an official name for him just yet. The other subordinate, the other moon guy from the other Katsuki clan member. Turns out that Boruto is going to think he's a potential threat to the rest of the clan, Chamberlains who are still remaining. But instead of just going to the village and taking it out quickly right now, he decided to wait to see how sprawly he can go. So he's going to be waiting on the sidelines, or at least in the shadows, just to wait to see how powerful Boruto can become. We're cutting to the next episode. It looks like we're going to take a bit of a filler break here. And whatever next other cancel is going to happen, expect that to see coming soon. But if any big episode like needs to catch my attention, I will do a review of that. So, until then, like, subscribe, comment, let's use a friend. I will see you next time for the next video. Laters.